This episode and the entire year of episodes is proudly brought to you by California Cryobank. Use code LOVEISLOVE at cryobank.com and you're going to get a free level 2 subscription to their donor catalog. Make those babies, y'all, and then come tell me about them.
Love is love on the Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
So Oliver, this is where he comes in, sent us this like really sweet email. Just basically, yeah.
Well, okay, so we were on this call and they were both talking about, is Evan, Kate's brother, is Evan going to be our donor? But we don't know. It might not work. Like, we're worried it's not going to work. And I just got very strong vibes from Kate. Kate claims she did not send these vibes. But I caught somehow the ether through it. I caught vibes from Kate that was like, you should offer.
Interesting. You sent a really heartfelt email.
Yeah, I sent a really heartfelt email.
It was so
very
sweet.
Saying I would love to be your donor if you want that.
Welcome, y'all, to the Queer Family Podcast, the show all about family, but with gay. I am your gay host, Jamie, and this, as you know, is the show that celebrates, highlights, uplifts, and normalizes LGBTQ families in all of our beautiful identities. Beautiful, fabulous, magnificent, I should say. Because aren't we? Aren't we all of those things and more? And also intentional. Yes, and intentional is what we're talking about in this here episode. As you might have seen in the beginning clip or heard in the beginning clip, I sat down with Kate, Sophie, and Oliver, and we are talking about a known donor situation here. And this time, I actually brought the known donor in to chat with us too. This is a good one. I've been looking forward to sharing this one with y'all because many of you have reached out asking to hear from known donors in general. And of course, I want to hear from all the donors as well, because I do have a donor-conceived children in my home. And I know all the questions that come up with that. So we are learning the ins and outs of a known donor relationship. Kate and Sophie are actually in the process of getting pregnant. So they all just really hashed all this out. So we sat down and we talked about all the things that have gone into their process so far. And it's been a process, as you can imagine. They've been taking a lot of time on this. From legal contracts, donor agreements, to couples counseling, all of them together, shared meals while Oliver was making his deposits. Their story is truly full of thoughtfulness, care, community, and intentionality. Like, for anybody to say that we queer folks shouldn't make babies, they need to listen to this show and find out how intentional we truly are when we create these families and how much love goes into them. That's what I want to say. And I do want to add to a big theme that came up in this recording that we did was the theme of abundance. The idea that queer family making, even when it's complex, like known donor situations can be, they can be full of abundance, love, and chosen family ties that last a lifetime. It can be so abundantly beautiful. And so that's why I'm excited for you to hear this episode. I do want to give you a quick note. Kate and Sophie just wanted to clarify something that they talk about something in the end of the episode, you'll hear, where they give advice that's that it's always a great idea to save money before you start your baby making process. And they do realize that saying that comes from a place of privilege. If you have the privilege to save money before you start your process, it's a good idea. And while they were able to live off one income and save aggressively for a couple of years, they wanted me to give you this caveat. They do also recognize that not everyone has that option. I know I didn't. And many of you at home probably don't either. But their real message is this, and I agree wholeheartedly with this. Every little bit helps. And the more time you have to plan, the better. So start planning now. Even if it's not saving money, you're just planning what you're going to do. Start planning, because a lot goes into these baby making journeys. A lot. And we all know that. And on the note of every little bit helps, on the home front here in the Kelwood's house, Anne, my wife, is about to go into her 4th round of chemo. She has breast cancer, which many of you at home know. And so we are halfway through our chemo process. And on the note of every little bit helps, the community that has raised up around us to help us through this time is truly immense. Many of you are a part of that community. Many of you have reached out sending love. We have so many parent friends who offer to pick our kids up for us and have been bringing food by, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And this cancer journey, this unwanted cancer journey, is a doozy. Not gonna lie, it is not easy. My therapist told me just this week, it's okay. And I want all of you to take this to heart. I want all of you to take this message from my therapist to you, because we're all dealing with a crazy world right now, regardless of cancer, or regardless if we're waiting to find out that we're pregnant, or regardless of if our kids are just driving us freaking crazy. It's okay to take time for you. I want everybody this week to do one little thing for yourself, however small it may be. Find that thing that is going to bring you joy. From my therapist's mouths to your ears, find your joy, because we're all going to need a little bit of joy to get through at least the next 4 years. Anyway, thank you all for reaching out. Thank you all for the love on this cancer journey. And we all also need to send a lot of baby dust, as you'll hear, out to Kait, Sophie, and Oliver. And now, without further ado, let's roll that tape. Helen, Beulah, they've stepped it up too. They're really stepping it up too, but they're doing their part in taking their time to find their joy. All they have to do is roll the tape, and I have to call them over to do it. They're not real, y'all. I don't have an assistant. Helen, Beulah, Jerson, please roll that tape. Enjoy.
Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
Hi, Kait and Sophie and Oliver.
Hello. Hi.
They were like, wait, are we supposed to talk? This is exciting. We have 3 people coming in remotely. So you're each coming in from your different various computer. It's like a Zoom. It's like a corporate meeting. Here we are. Except this is anything but corporate, because this topic, I've been really excited about this. Y'all reached out and I was like, oh my God, yes, let's do this. And I know there are many listeners who have wanted to hear from folks like yourselves. And now, without further ado, I'm going to let you introduce who you are. Give me your elevator pitch, who you are, why you're here talking to the Queer Fam Squad, and why they're going to all be so excited for this conversation.
You got it, Kait.
All right, they already decided it's going to be Kait. All right, here we go. On your mark, get set, go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kait. My wife, Sophie, is here, and our mutual friend, Oliver. Sophie and I have been on this family building journey in one way or another for about 3 years. It's involved a complicated medical diagnosis that Sophie's dealt with. We've been saving our dollars. And then last year, Oliver offered to be our known donor. So we're here to talk to him and you today about what that all has been like.
Boom, you did it. That was beautifully done. You really killed it. I'd like it a lot. And this is very, very exciting. I can't tell you how through the years I've gotten so many requests from listeners. Please, can you bring in a known donor and the family? I want to hear how it all shakes out, like in real time. So here we are. We're in real time. And I do want to say, I know you're on the journey, and I know how difficult and complicated it can be. So I'm sending all the baby dust in the world, and I know you're in it. You're in it, and you're going to get through it. You're going to get through it, I promise.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. I'm not sure where the best place to take this back to is. I want to know about how y'all know Oliver, and I also want to know about how you met. And Oliver, I want to know so many things about you too. So why don't you take it? Take it from here.
Well, Sophie and Oliver met before I met Sophie. So maybe you all can talk about how you met as friends first.
Ooh,
yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, do you want to take that, Sophie?
Sure. Oliver and I met in college. We were both running cross country at Carleton College, which is a small liberal arts college in Minnesota. So we met as like teammates, basically. And Oliver was a year ahead of me. So we overlapped for most of our time.
You know what? I had I'm not saying you're gay, Oliver. I'm just saying I had my gay bestie, Randy, in college. And we used to say all the time, we're going to make a baby together if it doesn't work out. That didn't happen. It didn't pan out that way, but it's so funny.
That's hilarious. Because I feel like Sophie and I's relationship, we never imagined making a baby together.
Right.
I think until pretty recently, that was like totally outside of our conception of our friendship.
So you stayed friends after college, and you just stayed connected. Are you where do you live in the world? Like, are you close? Where are you each?
So I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They used to live in Minneapolis, Minnesota for a little bit, and so we overlapped. But obviously now they're in Eugene, Oregon.
Oh, so there's a distance here.
Yeah.
This complicates things. I know that for sure. Okay. And then, Kait, when did you enter the picture?
So I went to the college across the river from where Oliver and Sophie went to school.
Did. Yeah.
All in the same town.
Well, I didn't meet Sophie until we moved up to the cities afterwards. And, you know, Sophie and I began our beautiful relationship. And then the first time I met Oliver, he was stuck in a tree that he had
Oh, I forgot that's how you met him.
What? Stuck in a tree?
I know how to make a first impression.
I guess so.
Because the runners, as they're known, all of the cross country runners are still very fast friends, and they had this big group hangout. And I showed up to meet everyone, and everyone congregated at the base of this tree. And Oliver had creatively gotten up in there, but had kind of gotten stuck. And so that was a great first impression. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, nice group and everything was great. And Sophie and Kait, you've been living that gay life before you met. So it wasn't like this is a new gay thing, queer thing. Like no story there, really.
Yeah, not too much. I mean,
I guess I came out at the end of college to my friends, but I didn't actually tell my family until I was dating Kait.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm the first and the best woman that she's been with. So
obviously, duh. Okay, so when did talk of baby making come into the picture?
I mean, pretty early, but not as a future thing. We weren't oh, we're going to do this immediately. But I think family is important to us, and always. I think we were both raised in the Midwest, even though Kait was born out here. And there's just I feel like it's such a cultural thing for family to be very central in the Midwest. And so I think we just always imagined that. But I think growing up, neither of us pictured being married, having kids. That was not.
Is that because of the queer aspect?
I think so. But at the time, I would not have known that, because my sister was always my older sister was always imagining her wedding and having kids. And I was I'm going to be an astronaut. I cared about what my career was going to be.
So gay.
Yeah.
So gay.
Yeah. I was just I'm here in the moment.
Also, so gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Oliver, had you ever had thoughts of becoming somebody's donor?
No. I did know that I wanted to have my own kids at some point for most of my life, but I don't think I ever really imagined being a donor until honestly I started to have close friends who were queer, obviously specifically lesbian friends, and then it sort of tickled the back of my brain knowing how close I was to some of them that this sort of could be an option.
Yeah. And you're a great runner. I imagine you're very fast. I don't know, that's got to be a plus. I don't know why that's a plus.
I don't know if I'm that fast. We had a lot of fun running in college.
You're healthy. That's where I'm going there. I always ask this question about when did you first start talking about baby making? Because when it comes to queer baby making, a lot of times, obviously, we're going to need some assistance to get this to happen. And we have to be on the same page with each other about how we want to do it, because there's so many paths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So did you know you were going to want to use a known donor, or did you have conversations surrounding that? Or
honestly, the known donor part of our journey came about very organically. Sophie and I'm the planner in our relationship, and even I wasn't I think we had just assumed anonymous was the way to go, because there's a lot of structure there. There's some really great banks. It seemed good success could come from that. It's really pricey.
Yeah.
But Sophie and I were talking this past weekend, why didn't we have earlier conversations about approaching people and asking for known donor stuff? Because Sophie has so many guy friends who are all amazing and very healthy runners. So we were we're going to make a baby. We both have uteruses. We both care about carrying pregnancy. I think just anonymous sperm seemed like the first like we didn't even question it. It's just
Yeah.
what we were going to do. Yeah.
So what changed? So, because you said you're 3 years in, this is a long journey. Like that's a long time so far. So like, what happened? Where did you go? And from initial to where you're at now?
I feel like with the 3 years, you're probably counting the medical stuff.
Yeah.
So like I have condition that like causes like benign tumors essentially throughout my body. So I had fibroids in my uterus, even though I was in my 20s and they were really bad. So I ended up having to get a surgery, but a lot of what that looked like was like figuring out how will this affect like a reproductive timeline. And so I feel like we weren't actively planning to have kids at that point, but that was like a part of the process because we had to figure out all this medical stuff first.
Yeah. And the timing of when Sophie opted to do the surgery, we knew there was only so much time after the surgery until fibroids would begin growing again. And so like, we wanted to time that so that we would feel ready to start trying actively, like within the year after the surgery. But we knew we were going to move across the country for her to go to school. Wanted to get settled. And so honestly, I think Sophie waited maybe too long. Like the fibroids were, I call him Timmy the tumor, was like a grapefruit almost in size. And
I had multiple really big ones. So it's not fun.
So
no.
Yeah. And I think and there was this whole question for a while, like, will Sophie need a hysterectomy? Like, is that option going to be removed? We were kind of holding how we wanted to build our family lightly for a bit until that all kind of got resolved. But luckily we're living in Rochester, Minnesota, which I do want to plug at least once during this show, because I know a lot of queer folks in the Midwest are looking to move to Minnesota for political reasons right now. Rochester's a place to be. So I'll come back to that.
Oh, but, good to know. Good to know.
I mean, because
we need to know where to go.
Yeah, the Mayo Clinic is there and they do really great medical care. And it just so happened that we were there, and Sophie got this awesome guy who did the surgery and is now like fully capable of carrying a very healthy pregnancy. And so super grateful.
Because Sophie, you knew you wanted to carry.
Yeah.
And Kait, do you want to carry as well?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, so we're talking 2 here, at least. That's me and my wife's situation too. But it seems like Sophie, you're going to be the one to go first because of the medical stuff.
Yeah.
Because you need to time this. Like, so this has really catapulted y'all into this whole process because you're on a timeline because these Timmy the tumors just keep coming back and causing mayhem in our lives. Stupid Timmy.
It's kind of a blessing having a timeline, because I know for some families, especially like 2 women, it's kind of hard to know when to start sometimes, especially if you're a little bit younger. Yeah.
And career is important, you know. For many of us lesbians, career is very important, you know.
Yeah. So we're just we're having to make it work, and I think that's kind of nice, because otherwise I don't know, like Sophie would have probably wanted to finish grad school, and we're just doing it. So
So it pushes you forward. And so then you're thinking anonymous sperm. So what happens? What happened?
Yeah. So, I mean, we'd done all of the research, you know, we found we were going between 2 different banks. We eventually settled on one, and we, you know, looked through all of the catalog of the guys, which is really weird, by the way. I mean, that whole process is
honestly
just really
kind of hilarious, though.
That's why I call it the search for the superhuman. That's literally
it
what it feels like.
also feels like, and we had friends in the Twin Cities who said this, it was like looking through dating profiles if everyone's moms wrote their profile. And that felt so true. They're like, he walks in with a smile on his face and her eyes are sparkling. And like,
yes,
it's so funny.
No, you're so right. And like I don't know what banks you were looking at, but like the celebrity lookalikes, because it gives you the staff's impressions. And then it's like celebrity lookalike, it looks like Zach from Saved by the Bell. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I agree. It is like as if their mom wrote it. It's hilarious. It's surreal. It is a very surreal experience. So you were looking at those.
Yeah, we had kind of whittled it down to about 10 maybe. And we were, you know, came about Memorial Day weekend last year. And so Sophie and I decided, okay, we're going to make a choice when we get back from the holiday. And on the train ride I was taking up to where I was going, I was on the phone with my brother, which I promise this will circle back around to Oliver.
We're going to get to you, Oliver.
I promise.
It's not all about me.
It's all about you, Oliver.
So anyways, I was telling my brother Evan about how expensive sperm is and this whole process. And he just kind of like casually said, well, I would be your known donor. I would do it. And I'm on the train and I know there's all these people around me. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I need you to tell me right now if this is serious.
Perfect spot for this conversation.
Yeah. And he said, no, yeah, I'd have to think about it a little, but I'm pretty darn sure I could.
You're like, but how do I know if you're a really good runner, Evan?
Yeah.
Are you a strong runner?
That's a very good question. And so it started this whole, like, we were, all three of us had this conversation ready to go. Mm-hmm. Sophie got so excited because, you know, we could have our kids be as bio-related as possible since he's my brother. So,
but the only snafu is you can't use him. Oh, okay. Oh, we're going to get there. Okay. Yeah. Because we want two here. So,
we
okay.
do. Yeah. So I think we had just initially gotten so excited about this option and realizing, oh, a known donor. Oh, there's so many benefits to, you know, having someone that you're close to that you know. And yeah, could be a little complicated, but we'll figure it out. And so we just, I don't know, like it just started us off this path of known donor and my brother and getting him in to get his sperm assessed. And he also lives in the Midwest like Oliver and trying to figure out the logistics of how to get the sperm. It just takes a while when you do known donor stuff because you want to get all those assessments done. And maybe midsummer, we were on a phone call with Oliver saying, yeah, like we're going to get these results back from Evan, but the tentative results are kind of, And I was starting to have these feelings of, I really want to carry a pregnancy. And in order for me to do that, we'd have to do reciprocal IVF. And it's just like, I kind of was wanting to pause and both of us were getting a little worried. So Oliver, this is where he comes in, sent us this like really sweet email. Just basically, yeah.
Well, okay. So we were on this call and they were both talking about, you know, is Evan, Kate's brother, is Evan going to be our donor? But we don't know. It might not work. Like we're worried it's not going to work. And I just got very strong vibes from Kate. Kate claims she did not send these vibes. But I caught somehow the ether through it. I caught vibes from Kate that was like, you should offer. You should offer.
Interesting. You sent a really heartfelt email.
Yeah, I sent a really heartfelt email.
It was so
very
sweet.
Saying I would love to be your donor if you want that. So.
Oh my God. And what were your thoughts? Like Oliver, like obviously you alluded to how you said, you know, you had gay friends and you did think about that a little bit, but like how big of a leap was this for you? Like, were you partnered up at the time? Like this is a big gift.
It's definitely something that I talked to a lot of my people about throughout the process, but I kind of knew in my gut from the beginning that it was right. And that has kind of never changed.
Aw.
And I was just beginning a relationship. Then I'm still with my partner, Michelle. But the thought of, obviously, I want to be married and have my own kids. And so the thought of, you know, what would a future partner think about this? That was a part of the calculus for sure.
Yeah.
But I kind of decided that, you know, anybody who wasn't okay with it wouldn't be right for me. So
you send this email and then Kate and Sophie, you were like, yes, please? Or
it was tense, honestly, between the two of us for a moment because we had really gotten attached, or Sophie in particular,
I'd gotten attached
had really gotten attached to the idea of my brother being the donor.
No shade, Oliver. No shade.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
because she loves Kate. She wants Kate's genetics. What can you do?
I know. I get it. And really, like the truth is, once you're on the journey, like you just want it. Like you're just ready to go. Let's go because you know we made a decision. I want to keep going with this. But
right.
So you had to work through it a little.
Yeah, but there wasn't too much time, honestly, between Oliver sharing he would be willing to be our donor, and then my brother's sperm results came back like very bad. It's good that he knows this information, honestly. So
he needs to work on those running skills.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm just going to keep it. I have to keep
Yeah,
this
it's like
bad joke going at this point.
like, are y'all trying to raise an Olympian? Like, you picked the wrong guy for that. I don't know.
No, it's just, I got to keep it going now. So, okay, so then it was like an easier decision. Like, we're going to pivot.
Yeah, like same day.
Yeah,
We
well,
found
because
out the
then the
news.
choice
Yeah.
became like anonymous donor or like our really good friend. And I
Right.
think that was an easier choice.
Yeah.
Did you go straight to like getting tested, or did you go straight to the conversation surrounding what are the parameters of this known donor situation? Like, what is our boundaries? What's our contract, so to speak? Like, what did you do for, like, how did you get to, like, like for others who might be considering this?
Yeah, we had a long phone call,
Yeah,
as I
feel like it's
recall.
more of the latter of like, what would this look like
Yeah.
if we did this? Yeah.
And then we had that long walk on the lake in
Yeah,
Madison
we
at the
did.
wedding. That was
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we had the benefit of seeing all of us in person at a friend's wedding, and I think this long walk in person really helped to air out some of our fears and questions about what could happen and how this was all going to look and how we wanted to be involved in our kids' lives moving forward, and if we ever moved back into the same area again, how would our families, operate with one another. And we'd kind of decided that, I mean, our kids are our kids, but Oliver will become Uncle Oliver, and it's just like very much chosen family and like the closest
Way possible.
way
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I recall, Oliver said something to the effect of, I already wanted to be a part of your lives forever, and this just kind of solidifies that enforces it or something.
Aw.
Yeah, I really liked, I mean, obviously I wanted to help.
Mhm.
And then also I liked the way that it would sort of tie us together forever.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
So-
sweet. No donors for the win.
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of have your parameters for how you want to go about it. And did you end up drawing up a contract, or did you go forward first and then walk us through it? Or do you have a contract? I don't know.
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah.
actually just are going to sign it, and it's going to be official. Like, we went through lawyers and everything,
Mhm.
paid the lawyer money to get it done right. But we didn't approach lawyers until actually after Oliver did his collections. But yeah, like, we decided we definitely wanted to have that protection in place. We decided to do group counseling together to kind of talk through
Yeah.
things with a third person.
Oh, that's good. We'll be right back.
Queer Family Podcast.
All right, y'all, I'm going to interrupt for one quick second because, as you know, this episode is brought to you by California Cryobank, one of the nation's most trusted and LGBTQIA+ friendly sperm banks out there. And as you heard, Kait and Sophie's journey started with a deep dive into the world of donor banks, an experience many of us know all too well. And at California Cryobank, you're going to get a huge, diverse donor catalog, baby photos, audio interviews, genetic info, and yes, celebrity lookalikes. Zach Morris, anyone? Saved by the Bell? So whether you're just starting your family building process or switching gears like Kait and Sophie did, California Cryobank makes it easy to explore your options with transparency, support, and science you can trust. So if you're looking for donor sperm or you just want to see what's out there, head to cryobank.com and you're going to use code LOVEISLOVE for a free level 2 subscription to their donor catalog. That's cryobank.com. Promo code LOVEISLOVE, free level 2 subscription. And you can also use that code for a discount on a level 3 subscription, which gives you even more info about these donors. Go make those babies, y'all, and then come tell me about them because you know I love that. Back to the show.
Love is love.
This is all really good advice. All of
Yeah,
this.
highly
Yeah,
recommend.
it was great. I think it was
Mhm.
helpful.
Because you don't know what you really need to think. You're not parents yet, right? So you don't know what it's going to be like when the baby comes. So I think it is a really great idea to get a third party outside of you to make you think through all the different scenarios that could happen and all the things to think about because there are many variables with this.
Yeah. And I mean, I will plug that there aren't very many therapists out there who specialize in known donor conception stuff for families. And
That's
so we
annoying.
just kind of found someone who worked well enough. And I think the fact that the three of us have a really communicative, open friendship already is what like carried those conversations with the therapist. But I think having someone there provide some structure to what we were talking about and provide some accountability to making some space and time to talk about it was good. I would say don't expect to like find a therapist who's like very well versed in this. And that's okay. You know, it's okay.
Well, you know, you get to do your part in educating somebody for the future, for going forward, right?
Yeah, we actually recommended some books to the therapist.
That's amazing. Yeah, because that's why this matters so much. That's why representation matters. Like, because we're out there and we need services. And these are real situations that we experience, right? So more professionals need to know about them.
Yeah.
You did all the testing. You made deposits, so to speak. You went to therapy. How long did you do therapy for?
We only had like three sessions.
Yeah, like about a month apart. Yeah. And I mean, I think some of that is that like in between sessions, we had been having, you know, friend phone calls that included the conversation about this, lots of emailing, you know, I think having like both time to talk in real time and also time to write and think and then respond in writing that was helpful.
Look how intentional. And they try to say queer people shouldn't have babies. Look how intentional this is, right?
Yeah.
So much thought is going into even just this whole, you know, so many people just get knocked up. They don't talk about it. They don't think about it. This is extremely intentional. So you get on the same page. Did you ask questions about like your extended family? Like, Oliver, your family, did you tell your family that you're doing this? And was that all part of it? Yeah,
like definitely right away talking to my people. That's like my parents, my brother, my newer partner, Michelle, my close friends. Just, I feel like everybody, I wanted their input. Everybody was supportive. My mom needed to come around a little bit. Not because she has any problem with queer people, but because she really wants her own grandchildren.
That would be my biggest fear with a known donor is that like, well, one of my fears is that like the grandparents are going to come in and want to lay claim to that child as theirs, which I think there is room for, in my world, I would think there is room for that to a certain extent. And also the boundary needs to be kept that this is our baby and we decide what the relationships are to the baby and so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the things that we talked about in all of our conversations was that there could be some relationship between my parents and these children, which my parents obviously really appreciate. And I also really appreciate for their sake, you know, obviously not a grandparent relationship, but some relationship.
Something like, I mean, the more the merrier in my mind. And also there need to be clear boundaries set so we know. And it could be, you never know, these could be the most beautiful relationships ever. Like, it's so exciting. You're on the frontier of this new family, which is like so exciting. And it could be and it probably will be the most beautiful thing ever because you really have thought this through, which is gorgeous.
We had the opportunity to talk to Oliver's parents over a Zoom call. I mean, so the other part of the story is that Oliver's parents and my parents, Oliver and I actually grew up only about 3 miles away from one another.
And we didn't know it.
Yeah.
And then they went to college like 2 miles apart.
Across the river.
So our parents live close together. And like I've had the opportunity to meet his parents a couple times in person before all this. And so we went on a Zoom call and just to kind of like, you know, give everyone some time and space to see one another and talk about it. And I found it was really sweet. Like, and the word that I shared with the three of us on the call, or the five of us on the call, was abundance. Like this feeling of, you know, we don't need to be afraid of, you know, having a more complicated family situation than other people. Actually, this could be incredible, you know, and I think we extended to Oliver's parents the offer of being involved as grandparents or, a relation as much as they feel comfortable. And I think they appreciated that. And I'm really excited to see how that goes, because I know on your side of the family, Oliver, there aren't grandkids yet. And so
right. They will be as involved as you want them to be. Like,
great.
There's no maximum for them.
That's good. Yeah.
But childcare is expensive. Use what you got. It's from one mother to the rest of you. Use what you got. But that's really awesome. And I love that abundance, because this can be like the most abundant full relationship going forward. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I have a question surrounding, because we know we're going to do this again. Oliver, are you on board for both?
Yeah, I signed up for 2 babies.
And you have some stuff on ice.
Yeah.
So we're ready to go. And then my question is, Kait, surrounding the non-bio thing, because you're the only one in this situation who's not going to have a biological connection to this child. Have you had thoughts around that and worries or fears or anything? Because I know I would, because I'm crazy.
No,
I'm
it's
neurotic.
It's not crazy or neurotic at all. I think, no, it's definitely something I've processed, and it took a lot of time to process. And I think it was easier for me to do that with a known donor situation, because I know Oliver and I know Sophie, and I think what was bringing me more nervousness with anonymous donors, I didn't know what they looked like as adults. Like, we only had access to youth photos. And so I think I was just kind of, I don't know what our kid's going to look like, a lot of those sorts of questions, which is totally valid. And I think that's, part of that journey if you go that way. But it's been really helpful for me knowing Oliver, knowing his personality, his physical traits, feeling. And so what's funny about this, because we should tell you the story of when Oliver came to visit and do the collections, but we had a lot of time together because you had to be here for 10 days and going in every other day.
I got to be there for 10 days.
You got to.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at you.
And Sophie's in grad school, so Oliver and I actually had quite a bit of time to spend one-on-one together, which was, I don't know, I just found myself finding a deeper friendship with you, Oliver, and developing love for you as a friend. And there was this one run we were on, and you're just cascading down the hill, and I have this image in my mind of you doing that and thinking, I want that jubilancy, that joy to come into our kid.
Aww.
And just feeling like I'm so excited to have traits from 2 people I really love going into this new person. And so the word abundance comes by again in my head. I'm not missing out on anything, because there's 2 people who I love who are becoming one person, and I get to be there as a mom to that person. Isn't that so cool?
Aw, you guys, it's so sweet. Oliver, are you tearing up?
Oh my God, I cry so easily. It's embarrassing.
I love this.
It's really embarrassing, actually.
No, it's not at all. Be proud of that. Come on now.
That was really sweet, Kait. Thanks.
Yeah.
Look at
But
this.
it's true. It's good. And I also, the 3 of us joke, I'm a very active cook, and I really feel that the energy and intention I put into the food that nourishes Sophie and Oliver while Oliver was here doing his collections, all of that has very literal translation into a healthy baby and pregnancy. And so I think for other folks who are looking for a way to be, I don't know, more literally involved, I think food is a really nice one, because you can spend time in the kitchen, listen to Queer Family podcasts, do some cooking for the week. That's literally what I do every Sunday, and create that space and time to do the family building on your end. And I don't know, Oliver likes to joke that it was kind of like a spa while he was here.
My dad made that joke originally, is I'm eating amazing food. We're just running and biking all the time. I'm working, but I'm not working too hard. And just going to the clinic every other day. Life is awful.
Having a little fun at the clinic as well. It's perfect. I don't know if it's fun, but it's
actually
perfect.
not. It's actually not very fun.
No, not at all. I'm sure. That's a whole thing. That's really beautiful. And I like that you said that, Kait, because finding the ways to find your connection to it is really, really important when you're going to be the one who's going to have the non-bio connection, because most of the time there's going to be somebody who isn't going to have that biological connection. So that's beautiful. Yeah. Find the things that make you feel connected. That's really important. Yeah. All right. So where are we in the process? We have the swimmers, the fast swimmers on ice. I don't know. The runners. We have the runners on ice. Where are we with this now?
We're in the insemination phase, which is really exciting.
Yeah, we've like just entered it. So.
Yeah.
But you haven't done one yet, or you have done one?
We have one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And we're getting used to this whole like wait and go. This version of wait and go. It's all been wait and go, but this is like, very timed. And we also just kind of want to let folks know who are on the early end of the process that using a clinic is different with a known donor than doing ICI or something at home that involving a whole other party, and they have their own priorities and rules about how using known donors work. And I think Sophie and I did not expect the amount of management, emotional management, and people management that's been
using the clinic.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Can you go into that a little more?
Like a certain extent, some of this is probably just like we didn't know what we didn't know coming in. And I think the anonymous donor route is a lot clearer in a lot of the communications from most clinics, or at least the ones we've looked at. So I think going in like, hey, we want to use sperm from our friend Oliver. And then they're like, oh, well, we got to do all this other stuff. And we're like, okay, but...
And also Oliver's not romantically or sexually involved with either of us. And so none of their forms are really set up the right way for that.
Right.
And,
that was its own thing.
Yeah. So they have the formula figured out for if a queer couple is going to use anonymous sperm, they kind of have that. They have that formula. This is a little bit, it's a more of a bumpy road because they haven't done the work really, honestly.
I mean, I know they've done it before with other people, but like our doctor essentially said, Oliver is not his first choice. Like it would be better to go with the bank because the bank is a known entity, and
and they do all the testing and the thingy and the
and the clinic can do all the I mean, we did the FDA, the silly FDA tests. Which, were horribly expensive and kind of weird, to be honest with you. And paid, all the different steps and things. But I just think that for some reason, like the communication side of our clinic, the financial, please check your bills before you pay anything.
Yeah,
sometimes
that's the
they
best
make mistakes.
We have.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Like extra things added into the bill and stuff?
Extra things, not running certain things through insurance because they assume that insurance won't cover anything. I've saved us thousands of dollars checking the bills and having like little conversations with the financial
I will say
counselor.
We have very limited insurance coverage for
of course.
assisted reproductive stuff, but because some of the procedures can be coded to be related to my medical history. Like I don't technically have, I'm not infertile, but because I have this history, there's ability to code things slightly differently so they can run it through insurance. And so we were like, please do that, wherever you can. And sometimes they wouldn't, and sometimes they would. So then every time we got a bill
to do that, obviously,
right?
We want insurance to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Using a clinic and having the IUI and everything, I do think it will result in a pregnancy faster, perhaps, than ICI. And we don't live in the same place, so having had to do it seemed like that was what we were going to do.
It would be really complicated to get fresh sperm for each.
Yeah, we can't do that.
That's a lot of airplane bills.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
But just. It's okay. It's okay that there aren't structures in place really for this kind of thing, but advocacy was something that we didn't really see needing to happen as much because we had just assumed that the clinic knew.
Right.
And but
interesting.
we're on this side of it, and it's okay. But I think there was a little bit more of a lift than we anticipated.
Interesting. Yeah. And just check your bills then. Check your bills and know that you're going to have to advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
Which is not fun, always. Not fun, really, at all. So you're like, you've already done a transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like in a 2-week wait type situation.
Yeah.
I'm sending baby dust. I'm sending baby dust. I don't want you to have to go through this too many times.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, that's very exciting. And Oliver, like, you have your partner's on board with this, and you're just kind of waiting and seeing what happens, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the small amount of things that I had to do are done. So I'm just waiting for the news,
It's really exciting.
Yeah. And my partner, Michelle, has been like really on board and supportive, which is awesome.
This is the dream. You are living the dream. This is really awesome. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited. And legal has been taken care of. You have the contract, right? So we're still buttoning everything up, because with the known donor, you have to, don't you have to sign like the parentage order or something? And
different depending on what state you're in.
Yeah. So Oregon is kind of nice because as long as we are married, if we pursue like any kind of assisted reproductive care with donor involvement, like we are assumed to be the parents. So then when we go to do second parent adoption, it's like really easy.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're still going to do second parent adoption.
Yeah.
We never know what's going to happen politically. So
the world's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's important. That's cool. Go Oregon. Yay.
I feel like at least my experience with my law firm was totally opposite of the clinic in terms of this is a law firm in Portland that does nothing but queer family planning all day, every day, as far as I can tell. And so it was just like boom, boom, boom.
Oh, can we say the name of the law firm?
I don't mind saying mine. We have to have separate ones. Aaron Robinson is my lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they've been helpful and good.
I mean, just this is what she seems to do all day, every day. So.
Oh, that's great.
Same with ours. Tabitha Co. Highly recommend.
Yeah, Tabitha Co.'s office,
right?
Because we're working with Sarah within that. Yeah, it's like, we got 2 different law firms in Oregon to like serve each of us, and they both specialize in doing this, which is so cool.
Oh, and they also obviously know each other.
Unsurprisingly. I think they work together a lot, so it's been so smooth. Like that part was ideal.
That's great.
So easy.
Yeah. That's awesome. So because you got to find the helpers, you got to find the ones that are aligned and good. And so those are 2. Thank you for those names. You never know. You never know who's listening. So we're ready to go. And then we're gonna send the baby dust and hope that this one takes. And if not, you got this. You're gonna make it. And then it's on to number 2. I'm very excited.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have this like image of our families in the future. Once Oliver has his kids and we have our kids, and we'll be living back in Minnesota because it's more affordable there. And like we'll have cousin get-togethers, and I don't know. It's just gonna be family and friends all in the same thing, and I think this is super cool.
This is so great. I'm so glad I got to talk to all 3 of you. Thank you, Oliver, for joining us. I don't get to speak to known donors that often, so that's fun. And thank you, Kait and Sophie. This has been really wonderful. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
I mean, I feel like one thing Sophie and I talk about a lot is if you know, Rochester, Minnesota. Okay, the reason why you want to go there is that, like, I think having the time, all of this time happen before you actually have a kid is perhaps an advantage if you're willing to think strategically about how to save money for it. And so when we were living in Rochester, because of the clinic, like a lot of the jobs there have higher pay and the cost of living is low because it's like a mid-sized city. And so we were able to live off of one income and save the other income.
Oh, wow.
It was wild.
It was
And it was
great.
people who had come out of, like, I had done a grad program in the Twin Cities as well. And Kait was working as a baker. So we were used to making no money at all. Like that was our normal to be like, well, we're poor, but we're happy. And so it was really weird to be like, oh, we're just like, and we're naturally savers, which helps. But I think it was like, whoa, this is kind of like, we could have a family. Like, that's cool.
Yeah. And I think having the time to save, $24,000 towards this and having that really good jump start and being able to pay bills at the clinic and pay the lawyers, like all of this, it reduces the amount of stress that we're incurring at the moment, which is nice. And I'm thanking myself for every time we chose to make a more frugal decision for those couple of years, because it means that we can kind of sit at this point now. And, I just think that having like the financial side of your relationship is almost as important, if not more, when you want to be building a family, is like the lovey-doveyness that comes with it.
The queer way. Unless you can do ICI at home, because,
which is totally
which is
valid.
great. Like,
right.
So,
we didn't really have that available to us. So we were like really grateful that we had been able to financially plan.
Yeah, it's a huge aspect of it that is not an aspect for all couples, right? The financial part, well, sometimes it hits straight couples as well. And then it's a huge blow and it's a shock. But we know most of the time we're going to have to shell out some dough, to make these families. So that's a really good point. If you have the time and if you know what you want your path to be, start working on it early. I didn't. So if you're like me, you just take the punches as you go and you're still going to get your family. It's just going to be stressful.
And totally. Like we'll all get there. But there's ways you can work on it, even if you're feeling like you have to wait a while to actually get started with things. So
yeah, that's really smart. And that's really great points. That's really great points that you bring up. And if you can, we got to plan this stuff. We got to plan it. Sadly, it's actually for the best that we plan it anyway, because it makes us way more intentional and better.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. This has been really wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you,
Jamie.
Yeah, this was a fun opportunity.
Yeah. And now I'm invested. So keep me posted. I want to hear how it all goes. And I might have to have you back like in 5 years to see how it's all
that'd be fun.
Yeah. Because I'm still doing this in 5 years, which I have a feeling I will be. So I'll have you back in 5. Yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much, y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Queer Family Podcast.
A huge, huge thank you once again to California Cryobank for sponsoring this here little show for an entire year of episodes. Go to cryobank.com, use code LOVEISLOVE, and get a free level 2 subscription to their donor catalog. Go do it. Let's make those babies and uplift these queer families, y'all. Thank you.
Love is love.
Whew. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, feel free to listen to another or watch another. I have so many episodes for your listening or viewing pleasure. Just go pick one and enjoy. There's a lot. There really is. And also, if you really do like this show, please, I know I say it all the time, but please do consider supporting the show on Patreon. You're just going to go to patreon.com/The Queer Family Podcast. You're going to pick a tier, you're going to join, and you're going to get that bonus content. And you're also going to get my love and adoration for the rest of my life. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in. Keep on tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.